Hi, so I know this was already commented in the last video. I'll tag the person who commented it in the description. But how I like to describe the ghost pronouns is it's like a further deeper description of my gender personally. Another one of our alters, Gabe, he also uses ghost self sometimes. He could technically be considered a ghost because of his source, but also because of his source, he doesn't consider himself a ghost. But he uses it because of that. I personally use it because it's just more comfortable for me and better describes how my gender feels to me. But yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.
Are you crazy? Huh?
You know, a long time ago, being crazy meant something. Nowadays, everybody's crazy.
Ghost self. That's a new one. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you're all having an amazing day, and I hope you guys are ready for another dose of brain aids, because that is exactly what you're going to get after watching today's episode of Woke TikTok Fails.
TikTok is degenerate trash. Correct.
Everything woke turns to okay?
Now, we did run a fact check on that statement, and it came back 100% true. Everything woke does turn. So there you have it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming back. Now, this picture on the screen here has nothing to do with anything. It's just a picture that was going kind of viral on the Twitters, and I figured I'd show you guys. Now the picture was captioned Georgia police officers or Georgia police cadets or something. I don't remember exactly. Someone in the comments said it's the Georgia Department of Corrections. So potato. I mean, there's a big difference. Anyway, still the point stands. A picture's worth 1,000 words, I guess.
Holy cow. Hey, where are the white women at?
Okay. I know. There was a couple of white women in the photograph there. They were just really hard to see because they were hidden by the, anyway, you guys get it. The beauty of these woke TikToks is, I don't really have to say much. These people do a great job of exposing themselves on their own. All I really have to say is, roll the film, please.
I had a fun little conversation with my students yesterday. For those of you who are new, I am very queer.
You're as queer as a $10 bill.
I am non-binary and I use they, them pronouns, and my students know this. But yesterday, I had some boys asking about it, and I explained to them, like, here's how you use it. Here's an example. We use it in the English language all the time. And they respond with, well, if you're a man, then I can be a woman. And so I looked at him and I said, okay, do you want me to use she, her pronouns for you? And he goes, no. And I responded with, okay, so you're just saying that to hurt my feelings then? And he goes, oh, what? No. Like, yes, you are. You're being a bully. You're being transphobic. And the boys around him kept saying the same stuff. Eventually I shut it down, but how am I supposed to call parents about this behavior when they're probably the people that they learned it from? How am I supposed to ask parents for help when I know that they're not going to respect me?
The hell are you talking about?
Nobody cares. 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 Nobody cares.
Now, it just sounds like a couple of based kids, like, not buying into this nonsense. Now, you're right. Probably don't call the parents and say to the parents what you just said to us or whoever is watching your TikToks. Because if a teacher called me and said, yes, I'm this and that, and this is my pronoun, I would howl in laughter and very loudly in your ear. So there's that. Good for the kids. Anyway, you guys, this is exactly how you know this stuff that's happening in these schools is deliberate, because you know this person on their job application, their resume, whatever, cover letter, you know these people include their pronouns. I'm fairly certain they all do. They show up to the job interview just like that, stuffing their face, color hair. So the school board, whoever's doing the hiring, knows what the outcome's going to be. If they hire this person, they know it's going to be all this stuff, yet they still say, yeah, you're hired. That's how you know this is deliberate. At least that's my crazy thought process. Let's keep it moving. Well, I said it's deliberate. It says, here are 5 things you can do to make spaces more inclusive for LGBTQ
LGBTQ2 plus.
Isn't that exactly what I just said? Anyway, yeah, for those students this year, roll the film.
Here are 5 things you can do to make spaces more inclusive for LGBTQ plus students this year. 1. Use inclusive non-gendered language such as students or folks to address your class. 2. Group and sort students in ways that do not rely on gender. 3. Affirm pronouns by creating a school or classroom climate where pronouns are respected. What I did for the start of the school year is I created the door sign right here with my pronouns. I also introduced myself with my pronouns. As soon as the teachers saw that in here, they wanted me to create one for them, and they proudly show it. 4. Display images that reflect LGBTQ plus people and the full spectrum of gender expression. 5. Use teachable moments to not only stop anti-LGBTQ plus behavior, but to inform educators about LGBTQ plus terminology, history, and current events.
This sounds very gay.
Super gay.
If you're a teacher, you should not do any one of those things. This is non-gendered language such as students or folks. No, you should come into the classroom and say, good morning, boys and girls. That's how you should do it if you're a teacher. Not this nonsense. Isn't this what George Orwell referred to as newspeak in his dystopian fiction novel 1984? Seems like it's not so much fiction anymore, is it? Keep it moving, please. This one says, my non-binary experience with gender-affirming plastic surgery. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Roll the film.
So as many of you know, I am non-binary, and like many AFAB non-binary folks or trans men or trans masc folks, I do not feel trans or non-binary enough. It's a very difficult thing to feel, and I think it's one of the big factors that made me not come out and be open about being non-binary for so long, and I think it's something that does hold back a lot of others from coming out as non-binary or trans and things like that, because we simply don't feel enough. It's painfully easy to compare ourselves to people who talk about being tomboys their whole childhood and knowing the whole time that they were trans or they were non-binary, and to the people who end up achieving this like perfect androgyny. And no one who's non-binary owes you androgyny, but as someone who is non-binary, there's so much internalized transphobia, and it's just so hard for me to extend that kindness to myself. And all of these things make me feel like I'm not enough.
What does any of that mean?
Listen, I cut that off right before this person started talking about the surgeries, and it wasn't anything bad. It wasn't like top or bottom surgery. This person specifically said that. Something on their face and something on their torso. I don't know. I genuinely feel sad for this person. She clearly has some kind of issues going on. I don't know. I feel bad for this person, and for this person to go in to a doctor's office or surgeon and say, listen, I need surgeries because I think I'm this. The doctor should have said, well, let's maybe try to get you some kind of help with somebody else first. And I don't know. This is just sad to me. This is all just sad to me. Keep it moving. Now, my first thought when I see those people, besides, wow, that's sad, is where are the adults in these people's lives? Like, where are the adults that are supposed to step up and say, listen, you're not going to have any surgery. We're not going to give you any kind of medication that could cause, harm down the road. Let's just slow down here. And, it wasn't too long ago you were believing in Santa Claus, so slow down. Where are the adults in the room? Well, when you have adults like this school librarian, that's what happens. Roll the film.
If you walk into the library and you see a display that's so beautiful and so enticing, with books that you want to take home and read, We have them on display because we want you to borrow them. This is not a museum, people. Borrow a book.
What the is this?
This is just unbelievable. Now, I don't know if you guys could see it because it was going kind of fast, kind of hard to see. But just about every book on the bookshelf, besides a couple of like civil rights with black people, you got a couple up top of black people. The rest of these books have to do with either gay or trans.
In your circle, I'm sure you got all kinds of gays and trans whatevers of all stripes, but not where I come from.
The one circle that you down on the bottom there, I think it's called "This Book is Gay." There is a huge controversy swirling around that book right now nationwide because people don't want it in school libraries. It's a very graphic book. It's got graphic depictions of what the book title says it all. Very explicit material. Too much for these kids, and parents have had enough. This isn't the kind of... Remember when I said earlier in the video that this was all intentional? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Let's keep it moving. All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up after this clip. I've had all I can stand for one day, and I can't stand anymore. So if you made it this far, give yourselves a round of applause, a pat on the back. You guys know I cannot do this alone. So thank you all so much for trudging ahead with me. Now, this lady, she uses just about every single virtue signaling buzzword that I think they've made up. So bravo for her. We also see in these like fatphobic videos, they say they always using their air quotes when they talk. So that's kind of interesting. You'll see that here as well. So like I said, that's a wrap. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll the film, please.
Let's talk about the trendiness of flat stomachs again. I think a really important question to ask is, why do we view flat stomachs as attractive? Some people in the comments of my first video tried arguing that our obsession with flat stomachs is biological because they're more attractive.
I'm not buff. I don't have firm breasts. I don't exercise.
When in reality, the actual reasons are a combination of fat phobia, Christianity, colonialism, anti-blackness, classism, and capitalism. As a lot of us know, chubby stomachs were considered a symbol of beauty and wealth during the Renaissance. But why did this change? White colonists started pushing the idea that black people were inherently fat because they lacked self-control, which highlighted the adoption of fat phobia as a means of perpetuating racism and trying to justify slavery. As Sabrina Strings mentions, self-control and rationality were characteristics that were deemed integral to whiteness. Not to mention the idea of the Protestant work ethic. Decades later, we have a diet industry worth $72 billion, and the fatphobic idea that flat stomachs are somehow superior.
I don't know what the you're talking about.
Eat vegetable. Eat broccoli.
And you ain't black.